Here's Johnny, and here's my review of Stanley Kubrick's spine tingling take of Stephen King's The Shining. This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1980 horror flick The Shining, released by Warner Bros., directed by Stanley Kubrick, and co-written with novelist Diane Johnson, based on Stephen King's 1977 novel of the same name. Starring Jack Nicholson along with Danny Lloyd, Shelley Duvall, and Scatman Crothers. Now, Nicholson plays a writer recovering alcoholic named Jack Torrance, who accepts a new position as the off-season caretaker of the Overlook Hotel. Young Danny Lloyd plays his son, Danny, who has psychic abilities, aka The Shining, which he learns about from head chef Dick Halloran, played by Crothers. Danny's imaginary friend Tony warns him the hotel is haunted before a winter storm leaves the family snowbound in the Colorado Rockies, and Jack's sanity deteriorates under the influence of the hotel and its residents, and Danny and his mother Wendy face mortal danger. The film was released in the US on May 23rd, 1980, and then on October 2nd in the UK of that same year. Now, there were two versions. There were, well, not two, but several versions of the theatrical releases. But I'll talk about that in a little bit, okay? Let's get into the story. Jack Torrance takes a winter caretaker position at the remote Overlook Hotel in the Colorado Rocky Mountains, which closes every winter season. After his arrival, manager Stuart Ullman advises Jack that a previous caretaker, Charles Grady, killed his wife, two young daughters, and himself in the hotel a decade ago. In Boulder, Jack's son Danny has a premonition and seizure. Jack's wife Wendy tells the doctor about a past incident when Jack accidentally dislocated Danny's shoulder during a drunken rage. Jack has been sober ever since. Before leaving for the seasonal break, the Overlook's head chef, Dick Halloran, informs Danny of a telepathic ability the two share, which he calls the Shining. Halloran tells Danny the hotel also has a shine due to residue from unpleasant past events and warns him to avoid room 237. A month passes and Danny starts having frightening visions, including of two murdered sisters who look identical. Meanwhile, Jack's mental health deteriorates. He suffers from writer's block, is prone to violent outbursts, and has dreams of killing his family. Danny gets lured to room 237 by unseen forces, and Wendy later finds him with signs of physical trauma. Jack investigates and encounters a female ghost in the room, but blames Danny for inflicting the bruises on himself. Jack is enticed back to drinking by the ghostly bartender Lloyd. Ghostly figures, including Delbert Grady, then begin appearing in the Gold Room. Grady informs Jack that Danny has telepathically contacted Halloran for assistance and says that Jack must correct his wife and child. Wendy finds Jack's manuscript written with nothing but countless repetitions of all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. When Jack threatens her life, Wendy knocks him unconscious with a baseball bat and locks him in the kitchen pantry. But she and Danny cannot leave due to Jack having previously sabotaged the hotel's two-way radio and Snowcat. Back in their hotel room, Danny says red rum repeatedly and writes the word in lipstick on the bathroom door. Wendy sees the word in the mirror and realizes that is the word murder spelled backward. Alright, now for the ending. As always, you know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. If you've seen the movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. Jack is freed by Grady and goes after Wendy and Danny with an axe. Danny escapes outside through the bathroom window, and Wendy fights Jack off with a knife when he tries to break through the door. Halloran, having flown back to Colorado from his Florida vacation to respond to Danny's telepathic SOS, reaches the hotel in another snowcat. His arrival distracts Jack, who ambushes and murders him in the lobby, then pursues Danny into the hedge maze. Wendy runs through the hotel looking for Danny, encountering the hotel's ghosts and a vision of cascading blood similar to Danny's premonition. In the hedge maze, Danny misleads Jack and hides behind a snowdrift while Jack follows a false trail. Danny and Wendy reunite and leave in Halloran's snowcat, leaving Jack to freeze to death in the maze. In a photograph in the hotel hallway, Jack is pictured standing amidst a crowd of party revelers from July 4th, 1921. End of story. So, what did I think of The Shining? Well, I'm going to say it's a pretty good film and what have you. Now, in 2012, the film was ranked the 75th greatest film of all time in the Sight and Sound Directors Poll and was selected for preservation in the U.S. National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant in 2018. Now, there were several versions for the theatrical releases, each of which was cut shorter than the preceding cut. About 27 minutes was cut in total. Reactions to the film at the time of its release were mixed. King himself criticized the film due to its deviations from the novel. The film received 2 controversial nominations at the first Razzies award ceremony in 1981 for Worst Director and Worst Actress, the latter of which was later rescinded in 2022 due to Kubrick's treatment of Duvall on set. Critical response to the film has since become favorable. Now then. Now, the film differs from the novel significantly with regard to characterization and motivation of action. The most obvious differences are those regarding the personality of Jack Torrance, the source of much of our author Stephen King's dissatisfaction with the film. Various ones and what have you. Like the motivation of Ghost and the room number, which was actually in the book 217, not 237. Well, and of course the rest of Torrance's and lots of other things. There's too much to explain. But anyway, it really became an influence in pop culture. Let's see. The film opened the same week as The Empire Strikes Back, but was only released on 10 screens. The film went on to make $47 million against its $19 million budget. The film had mixed reviews and what have you. And well, the New York Times lauded Nicholson's performance and praised the Overlook Hotel as an effective setting for horror, but wrote that the supernatural story knows frustratingly little rhyme or reason. Even the film's most startling, horrific images seem overbearing and perhaps even irrelevant. And what have you. Siskel and Ebert never even reviewed this when it was first released, but however, Ebert reviewed it in the Chicago Sun-Times, saying and complained that it was hard to connect with any of the characters. And while Siskel, in his Chicago Tribune review, said it called the film a crashing disappointment, the biggest surprise is that it contains virtually no thrills. Given Kubrick's world-class reputation, one's immediate reaction is that maybe he was after something other than thrills in the film. If so, it's hard to figure out what. Well, that's understandable and what have you. It was one of only two films of Kubrick's last 11 films, the other being Eyes Wide Shut, to receive no nominations from the BAFTAs. It was the only one of Kubrick's last 9 films to receive no nominations from either the Oscars or Golden Globes. Yep. Now, as I've said for this, Kubrick and Shelley Duvall were nominated for Razzies in the first year that award was given. These nominations, especially Duvall's, have provoked backlash and controversy for years, with the founder of the awards, John J.B. Wilson, defending his choice, claiming he expected the adaptation to be more similar to the book. And Duvall's nomination was retracted by the Razzie Committee last March, stating that she did not deserve it due to the extenuating circumstances of Kubrick's treatment of her. Now, for its reappraisal, the film currently sits at 83% on Rotten Tomatoes, certified fresh, says though it deviates from King's novel, Kubrick's take of this is a chilling, often baroque journey into madness, exemplified by an unforgettable turn from Jack Nicholson. Definitely, and what have you. Tim Cahill and Rolling Stone noted in an interview with Kubrick that by 1987 there was already a critical re-evaluation of The Shining in process. Well, this film was ranked numerous times on the film was ranked 29th on AFI's 100 Years 100 Thrills list in 2001, and Jack Torrance was named the 25th greatest villain on the AFI's 100 Years 100 Heroes and Villains list in 2003. In 2005, the quote, "Here's Johnny," was ranked 68 on AFI's 100 Years 100 Movie Quotes list. Definitely, and what have you. I am going to say those were pretty good and what have you. Now, let me go back to the Razzies bit with Shelley Duvall. While her performance was originally nominated for a Razzie, co-founder Maureen Murphy stated last year that she regretted giving Duvall the nomination. And then later on, the committee officially rescinded Duvall's nomination, stating, "We have since discovered that Duvall's performance was impacted by Stanley Kubrick's treatment of her throughout the production. The retraction of the nomination was in response to public backlash they received after refusing to retract Bruce Willis's win for worst Bruce Willis performance in a 2021 movie. A one-off award for his roles in 8 films released that calendar year. Well, let's not get into much of that story. But anyway, everybody else has been a little bit more on this and what have you. Now, despite King was not thrilled with what he found in this, he would, however, go on to be an executive producer for a more faithful made for TV adaptation in 1997. It premiered on TNT. Unfortunately, that got dissed big time. I've never actually seen the the made for TV film, but I think it's available to watch somewhere. I can't be too sure. But yeah. Okay, now if I happen to encounter it though, I will certainly look into it. Oh, I made a mistake. It wasn't TNT. It actually came on ABC. My mistake. I thought it was on cable. Whoops. My mistake. Now, Stephen King's The Shining premiered as a 3-episode miniseries at the height of the book's 20th anniversary. And also King wrote the film script as well. Now, it enjoyed a favorable reception when it first aired and became a ratings hit. However, retrospective critics have viewed this less fondly, declaring it boring and unfocused, comparing it unfavorably to Kubrick's film version. But I'll talk more about this when I watch it. Why have you? Maybe, well, maybe another day, perhaps. But anyway, now, of course, they had recently released a sequel to this in 2019's Doctor Sleep, which I'm reviewing next. And there's actually a spin-off series called Overlook, which has entered development. But well, however, HBO Max, now Max, opted not to proceed. But it was soon after reported Netflix was a frontline bidder, though they too eventually passed. So we don't know if that will even happen. So anyway, now we do have a score from Wendy Carlos and Rachel Elkind. I want to say some of the score was really intensifying and eerie and spine tingling, what have you. I'm serious, it was. So the story wasn't too bad. I mean, despite King's, well, thoughts on that, but we do have a good cast, including Jack Nicholson as Jack Torrance, one of his great performances and what have you. Shelley Duvall played Wendy. She wasn't too bad. Danny Lloyd played Danny. He was good. Scatman Crothers, who I mostly know him from his voice acting work, working on The Aristocats, as well as series like the Harlem Globetrotters and Hong Kong Phooey, as well as he would later voice Jazz in the Transformers, which would be one of his last performances, and also and well, oh yeah, and he was also Louis the Garbage Man on the series Chico and the Man, which I'm currently watching on Tubi, by the way. I'll be talking about that next year. So he was pretty good. We have Barry Nelson as Stuart Ullman, Philip Stone as Delbert Grady. Let's see, we have Tony Burton, who recently appeared in the Rocky movies as Tony Duke Evers. He plays the character of Larry Durkin. And there's also Lisa and Louise Burns as the Grady twins. Really something. And Philip Stone played Delbert Grady. I think I already said that. My bad. I just got carried away. But everything said, I think The Shining's not too bad. I mean, despite what Mr. King said, as I've said already. But overall, it's not too bad of a flick. But would I recommend it? I would say, hell yeah, sure, go ahead. I would consider it to be a draw between sure, go ahead and hell yeah. Hell yeah is the top one. So anyway, The Shining might be worth looking into. So what did you think of The Shining? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this review, this video, click the click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of Doctor Sleep. So if you like this, consider checking out my reviews for some of these other adaptations of Stephen King's work. Now, in the upper left-hand corner is my review of Carrie from 1976. I'm not sure if I'll re-review that, but maybe sometime down the road. Or go to the upper right-hand corner and see my review of the original miniseries of It from 1990. Or if you would like, see my spoiler-free review of the recent Paramount Plus film, which serves as a prequel to one of his books, Pet Sematary Bloodlines, which I'm considering one of the worst films I've watched this year. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.